presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Wisconsin.
Road trip time for the Milwaukee Brewers. A 7-game swing. First stop, Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati as the Brewers open up a 4-game series against Brian Price's Cincinnati Reds. And the Brewers come to town with one of the hot hitters in all of baseball, Ryan Braun. You see what he's done the last 4 games. He is 4th in the National League in batting average and among the league leaders in several categories. Zach Cozart, who had his year cut short in mid-June last year, healthy and off to a very good start this season for the Reds. Good evening from Great American Ballpark. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Telly Hughes is our reporter tonight. Oh, we've talked about some hitting there, as you just saw from Cozart and Braun. But we're going to say it again, it's about pitching and some positive signs here from the Brewers starters the last 3 outings.
Yeah, and we've been talking a lot about the starting rotation being very inconsistent, not eating up innings, and maybe trying to take the pressure off of that bullpen. Well, finally it happened on the end of the last homestand. Jimmy Nelson has been terrific. I mean, he's been the ace of this staff so far this year. I mean, consistently getting into the 7th inning. Junior Guerra, outstanding in his first ever Major League start against the Anaheim Angels. 6 innings and was able to pick up a victory in his first ever start. And Zach Davies pretty impressive yesterday, although he did not pick up a win. Brewers were not able to win that game. No decision, 6 innings, 2 runs, and really establishing his fastball in yesterday's game. And a guy that really has to start turning things around, Chase Anderson, after giving up no earned runs in his first 2 starts. His last 3 have been rough. He's given up 15 earned runs. Things have not gone all that well for him. Location has not been there. And against his Cincinnati offense that's been struggling up and down this year, they seem to do their best against Milwaukee. So Anderson going to have to get that fastball going and keep the changeup down in the strike zone here tonight.
And give his team a chance to win and give guys like Ryan Braun a chance to do their thing. Braun has been big against the Reds in his career, having a terrific start. We'll get more on Braun from Telly Hughes as we get you ready for the Brewers and Reds on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. The Brew Crew will kick off the first of a 7-game road trip in the Queen City, and it'll mark the first of 19 regular season meetings between the Brewers and Reds this season. As we welcome you back to Great American Ballpark, where Ryan Braun has hit 18 career home runs, which is the most at any park other than Miller Park. Now, Braun has scorched the Reds his entire career, but so far this season, it doesn't matter what hat the pitcher has worn, he's had success.
Bronny's a great hitter. I think we all know that. I think that the consistency of his swing and how he goes about methodically getting his work done is just special, and only a few guys have that, and he just happens to be one of those guys. But, you know, the best part about him is that he helps his teammates. He has a great understanding as to what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. Video-wise, he continues to work on and look at the things that the pitcher does and takes that effort into the game, and obviously the way he's swinging the bat is unquestionably one of the best in baseball.
Braun has been a thorn in the Red side since he came to the big leagues. Since 2007, Braun has the most home runs against Cincinnati with 30 over that span, and you see the rest who's on that list. So we'll see if Ryan can continue what he's done his entire career against Cincinnati. The Crew will look to kick off the season series and road trip with a win. Matt LePay and Bill Shorter will be back after the break with the first pitch and call next from Cincinnati.
Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. A nice night, a little on the chilly side, but no threat of rain. Had a few sprinkles about an hour and a half ago, but we should be in good shape tonight to get the opener into this 4-game series, the Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds. Here's the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi. Jonathan Villar at the top of the order, followed by Alex Presley and Ryan Braun. Jonathan Lucroy hitting cleanup, followed by Chris Carter and Kirk Neuenhuis. 7, 8, 9 made up of Aaron Hill. Colin Walsh getting a start at second. Chase Anderson batting ninth, and that's the lineup that will face Alfredo Simon second time around with the Reds.
Yeah, they didn't pick him up until mid-March. He got off to a pretty good start his first start, but has had a difficult time after that first start. You can see what he's been able to do, or lack thereof. 13.5 earned run average. The Reds have lost every one of his 5 starts this year, although You know, he has pitched well against the Brewers in his career. He's 3-1 in 11 games, only 2 of them starts. And now the Reds defense, they've been kicking it around a little bit at the beginning part of the season. Down near the bottom, you got 20 errors. 2 of the best up the middle. You got Brandon Phillips, 4-time Gold Glover. He's got 2 errors this year, and Zach Gosart back in the everyday lineup after an injury-riddled season last year. He's got 3 errors.
It's a Reds team that you normally think of being pretty good defensively. That's Gary Cedarstrom, the crew chief, working first. Adrian Johnson calling balls and strikes. Eric Cooper at second. Jim Wolf over at third here tonight as we are ready to go. The Brewers and Reds here in Cincinnati as Jonathan Villar will lead off, and we are underway at Great American Ballpark. Domingo Santana again not in the lineup tonight, still dealing with some shoulder tightness. So Villar in there at the top of the order. Jonathan yesterday in the series finale against the Angels had a hit and a walk. And he has been very good, not just with the glove, but he's been very good at getting on base. On base percentage at .379, and all but 3 games this season Villar has been able to reach.
Yep, hit or a walk. He's been very patient at the plate. Been a good start to his season this year, Villar, when you talk about offense and defense.
A ball, 2 strikes to the night's leadoff hitter, Jonathan Villar, as Simon gets a strikeout, and that's how the night begins.
Yeah, there's that split-fingered fastball. You're going to see a lot of them. He doesn't throw very hard, Alfredo Simon. He's trying to throw a lot of these pitches right here, the splitter going down. You know, this year he's been leaving a lot of those pitches up in the strike zone, which is why he's been getting hit so hard. Giving up 5 home runs this year.
Simon will deal with Alex Presley. He's in there in right field for Santana. And the fastball there misses to Presley as you look at Craig Counsell. Has his team back on the road for the next week, 4 here in Cincinnati, and then 3 next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night against the Marlins down in Miami. Brewers taking 2 out of 3 in their series with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. The game where Presley was in the lineup, had a couple of hits yesterday. It was a game where for the first time this season the Brewers fell when leading after 7. It was a game where the bullpen, which had been very reliable, especially the back end, but Tyler Thornburg got roughed up. Mike Trout coming through with an opposite field homer, a 4-run 8th for the Angels, and they were able to take the final game of that series yesterday afternoon at Miller Park. There's the 2-1 to Presley. A swing and a miss.
And the talk on the plane last night was really the first game that the Brewers lost that they felt that they should have won. It was a good game, pretty closely contested. A good start by Zach Davies. Gave him 6 strong innings. Those things happen once in a while. The bullpen, one of the few times that they have coughed up a lead.
It was encouraging, though. You mentioned Davies. He was a little bit more into attack mode, and those are words that Craig Counsell was using, that Zach Davies was attacking a little bit more. You think of that first at-bat against Trout. 7 pitches in the at-bat, 6 were fastballs, and caught him looking on a fastball. So definitely a step in the right direction for Davies, as the Brewers have had some pretty good work out of their starting pitching, as we've mentioned, the last 3 outings, and hoping to continue that here tonight. A full count to Presley as we are just getting rolling here in Cincinnati. Villar strikeout. Now Presley a full count against Alfredo Simon. Presley hitting .286, as you see, and the on-base percentage at .360. 1 homer was a pinch homer against the Phillies, and there's a soft liner that Cozart lays out and makes the catch. What a play.
Yeah, he's something else. I mean, that was a big hole in their defense last year when he got hurt. Around mid-June, missed the remainder of the season, and this is why right here he's got great range, fully lays out and ends up being able to grab it, in the webbing. Good play by Cozart. These guys are strong up the middle. Barnhart's pretty good behind home plate. You got Phillips and Cozart, and one of the fastest guys in the big leagues, Billy Hamilton, in center.
2 outs and the bases are empty for Ryan Braun. I mentioned leading or among the leaders in a number of categories, including that .374 batting average. That is 4th best in the National League, and he has had stretches where he has worn out Cincinnati pitching. See if that can continue here this weekend as a wave and a miss and a fastball from Alfredo Simon evens the count 1-1.
And using the whole field. I mean, Ryan really seeing the baseball well, starting to pull the ball a little bit more, you know, when they're trying to work him inside.
One pitch from Simon. And Braun slaps it to third. That's Suarez, and that is a 1-2-3 inning. Brewers go down in order. Now Chase Anderson will go to work against the Reds offense. First, and now the Reds will be getting their first cuts tonight. Ryan Price, 3rd season at the helm in Cincinnati, trying to get things turned, but it's going to be a process. They lost 98 times a year ago, and they have 11 wins so far this season. Here's the Reds batting order, presented by Potawatomi. Zach Cozart. Billy Hamilton back in the lineup tonight at second, followed by Joey Votto. Brandon Phillips, it's cleanup. Jay Bruce follows, followed by Eugenio Suarez. 7, 8, 9, Adam Duvall, Tucker Barnhart, and Alfredo Simon. And that's the batting order that will go against Chase Anderson.
Yeah, 6th start for Anderson. The earned run average is up there. He's threw very well his first 2 times out. Last 3, not so much. He's had good success against Cincinnati in his career. 3 starts, 2-0. And check this out. He's only allowed 1 run in 20 2/3 innings against the Reds.
Yeah, he has just locked them up. And anything approaching that would be greatly appreciated here tonight, as he will start off by facing Zach Cozart, who has already made an impressive play, a diving stop on an Alex Presley ground ball. And first pitch swinging and working away from the shift, and Cozart has himself a base hit.
Well, let's check out the Menards Brewers defense tonight. You got Braun, Nieuwenhuis in left and center. Presley getting a start. Santana out of the lineup. You got Hill, VR, Walsh, and Carter from 3rd to 1st, and Lucroy behind home plate. Colin Walsh making his first start at second base for Milwaukee.
Look at Aaron Hill. As Billy Hamilton back in the lineup, he jammed a thumb. Laying out, trying to make a diving catch a couple of days ago. Was out of the lineup yesterday and sends one into center field. Nieuwenhuis on the run and cannot get it. Cozart on his way to 3rd, and the stop sign is up. As the Brewers playing him shallow out there in center, and Hamilton drove one over the glove of Nieuwenhuis, and the Reds have a threat.
Yeah, kind of spun himself around, and certainly a baseball that he probably should have caught. Yeah, Turned around and turned around again, and Billy Hamilton puts a charge into this baseball. And the Brewers in trouble in the first inning. Second and third, nobody out. 2 pitches, and Chase Anderson has already got himself in a pickle.
Yeah, the night started poorly in his last start against the Marlins. A homer on the first pitch of the night. The Reds have him at second and third for Joey Votto, who has very unusual numbers for him. You see that batting average, and a couple of weeks ago he went through an 0 for 19 spell and has been trying to dig himself out in a very un-Votto-like month for a player who last year finished third in the MVP voting on a team that finished at the bottom of the National League Central.
Yeah, 0 for 19 at this point in the season. I mean, that's going to really hurt your batting average quite a bit, but still a threat. Very patient hitter, and a guy that's always concerned about that on-base percentage.
Last year was the 4th season in which Votto led the league in walks. He was walked 143 times a year ago. That's the most in a career for him. He was able to get through the season. He was injury plagued 2 years ago, but appeared in all but 4 games last season. 3 balls, no strikes. With some early trouble, unfortunately, for Chase Anderson here in Cincinnati. And a strike on the outside corner.
It's fastball command the issues for Chase Anderson. He still has the good secondary pitches. You know, the slider, that very good changeup, but it's all about being able to command the fastball both in and out. It's been an issue for him, getting too much of the plate or missing and walking batters.
3-1 pitch coming to the Reds' first baseman. And there's the first walk of the night. So the bases are loaded here against Anderson. And you know, Craig Counsell was talking before the game to reporters about one of the things that they need to see out of Anderson, that maybe he isn't as far off as some of the numbers might suggest. This is, you know, Counsell talking today, but try to be economical, try to be more efficient. And they've been able to, opposing teams have been able to get that pitch count up very early in ball games, and not a good start here. Bases loaded to start the game.
Well, it's command of the fastball, like we've been saying. I mean, Jerry Augustine talking about that in the pregame show, saying, you know, he's not being able to get on the corners. He's even giving up too much of the white, getting hit hard, or walking batters, and that's where that pitch count comes in. These guys aren't going to help you out. Got to be able to throw good quality strikes on the corner early, so you don't have to throw strikes later in the count. Get guys to chase.
A ball, no strikes to the second baseman, Brandon Phillips. First at bat, the bases are loaded. The Reds had their home run bats going yesterday in their series finale against the Giants, hitting 4 of them, including this blast from Phillips off San Francisco starter Jake Peavy.
Yep, second home run of the year for Phillips. He's the one guy that's been rather consistent. .281 batting average. One of the few free swingers in this lineup, Brandon Phillips. He will attack early.
Yeah, we've said it before through the years, but his approach is pretty much the polar opposite of Votto's. And it's worked well for each player doing it his way, and you see what Phillips has done with the bases loaded.
And he's up a lot in opportunities to clean up, you know, some RBIs. You know, Votto right there, you know, he had second and third, nobody out. Very patient. I mean, there's a guy you would think maybe expand his zone a little bit, try and drive in a couple of runs, and very satisfied with the base on balls.
A ball, 2 strikes to Phillips. Lucroy back in there behind the plate tonight. We'll see how Anderson deals with this first inning issue here. Bases loaded to begin the bottom of the first for the Reds. A 2-2 count to Phillips. There's a liner into center field. Neuenhuis on the run, makes the catch. But Cozart will tag and score. And there's the first run of the night on a sac fly off the bat of Phillips.
Yeah, nice play by Neuenhuis. I think he might have misjudged it initially, but able to recover and go back and grab it. You can see he's looking at Braun saying that ball just jumped off the bat, fooled me, a curveball, slider. I think Phillips thought that was going to be a gapper. Yeah, check it out. I mean, that ball was hooking away from him just a little bit. Well, see the way he had to angle back at the last minute, and he was able to catch it. Now get your double play ball and get out of this mess.
All for that. So 1 out, a run in. The Reds have runners at first and second. And now Anderson will work against Jay Bruce, who has, we mentioned it, the Brewers live pregame. What Braun has done to the Reds, Bruce in large part has done to the Brewers. A lot of home runs. Mentioned it. No matter, it seems, if he's hot or if he's an 0 for whatever, he can tend to flip a switch for whatever reason when the Brewers come up on the schedule.
Yeah, and hitters have those teams. I mean, every hitter will tell you there's certain teams that they do well against. Not sure if it's a scouting report or the way they're pitching to him in particularly, but Jay Bruce loves Brewers pitching.
And there's a fly ball hit back into deep right field, and unfortunately that theme continues. A 3-run homer for Jay Bruce.
Yep, and the theme for Chase Anderson continues as well. That was a hanging curveball, and Jay Bruce, as if he was sitting there waiting for it. That ball was launched out there in the right field. It was about 3/4 of the way up in the bleachers out there in right field. That's a hanger, and Jay Bruce got all of it. 4-0 Cincinnati. That was a bomb.
5th homer of the year for Bruce. He now has 21 RBIs. And here's Eugenio Suarez. Takes a curveball for strike 1. So another rough first inning for Chase Anderson tonight as the Reds jump on him for 4.
Even the out that he was able to get on Brandon Phillips was a hanger. He's just not able to get that good quick movement on the curveball, and the fastball's been inconsistent with the location. I mean, you're only talking about 91 miles an hour, 92 maybe.
A ball, 2 strikes to Suarez. He was their team leader in home runs. Suarez came in tied with Bruce for RBIs. Bruce has added to it now with a 3-run shot. And there's a ground ball that's gobbled up by Colin Walsh over at third. And the inning is over. But a big first inning for, 2 men out. Still, Reds still hitting in what has been a big inning so far with the 4 runs, and there are 2 away.
Able to do a nice job making the adjustment and maybe getting the out. It was a tricky hop and able to make a good throw over to first base.
And when the lineup originally came out, they had Walsh over at second and Hill at third, but they obviously have made the flip here. So Walsh is where he has normally been as a Brewer.
Yeah, I mean, we had him at second base, and all of a sudden he's over at third right before the game started. Maybe a lineup card error.
Adam Duvall, the hitter, and you see the shift.
It's kind of interesting when had Colin Walsh over at second base, never played over there, never started.
No, that was a Brewer.
And Aaron Hill was playing a lot of second base, so yeah, they got it right.
Yeah, the majority of Walsh's time in the minors was at second, but no, at this level, when the games began, he's played, I think, all of 1 inning over there in this regular season. But back at third, where he usually is, at least this year, as a Brewer. A ball, 2 strikes to Duvall, the left fielder. And the third ball is slapped to Jonathan Villar. It's short, and a high throw sails over Duvall, or over Carter, and into the camera pit, and Duvall will go to second.
Yeah, arm dropped just a little bit, and that's all it took. I mean, he airmails Chris Carter, which is not an easy thing to do, as tall as he is. Carter, no chance. He misses that one by about a foot, and that'll be a 2-base error to Jonathan Villar, who has been playing a very good shortstop. And a mistake there with 2 outs.
So the 8th man to hit here for the Reds in the first inning, the catcher Tucker Barnhart. Barnhart continuing to get time. Devin Mesoraco on the disabled list with a shoulder issue. It's the non-throwing shoulder, but can't hit. Mesoraco had his season end not long after it began a year ago because of a hip problem that required surgery. And Barnhart with a liner into center field. That's a base hit. That's going to score Duvall, and it's a 5-run first for Cincinnati.
Well, the rare error by Jonathan Villar opens a door, and there's a fastball. You can see where it is, right down the middle. And slicing away of Neuenhuis off the bat. You thought he might be able to make the catch, but it continues to slice away from him. And Duvall able to score run number 5. 4 hits, a walk, and error, and the Reds all over Anderson here in the first.
And now the pitcher, Alfredo Simon. Well, just completely different results here from Anderson. The first 2 outings, no earned runs, and since then it has been a much different story, and unfortunately continuing here tonight. Jay Bruce, a 3-run homer. Brandon Phillips, a sac fly. Tucker Barnhart, a run-scoring single. And Simon rolls one to Carter over at first, and finally this first inning has come to an end, but the Reds get the early jump and they lead 5-0.
Brewers in the first as we move to the top of the second here in Cincinnati, and we want to congratulate Willie Peralta on the new addition to his family. Willie Peralta just welcomed in a baby girl, and he will miss tomorrow's start here in Cincinnati. Tyler Cravey is here, and he will make the start in place of Willie Peralta, whose start tomorrow has been bumped back to Monday in Miami. So congratulations to the Willie Peralta family. Tyler Cravey will get the start. Matt and Rock, and we'll see how that turns out for the crew as we continue on this 7-game road trip.
All right, Telly, thank you very much. Top of the second we go, and congrats to Willie on the new girl, the baby girl.
Didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be back in Milwaukee, and he'll be in Miami to make a start on Monday. What was the name of that boat that was on the river? What was that?
You didn't catch that? I mean,
that city?
I was there for quite a while.
River boats?
Yeah,
what was it?
There's a bouncing ball to Suarez over at third, and there is out number 1 here in the second inning. Alfredo Simon, second time around as a Red. Valuable member, first of the bullpen, then in the rotation a couple of years ago. Started 32 times in an all-star season, won 15 games, and then was traded to the Tigers. And the Reds in return got a minor leaguer in addition to Eugenio Suarez.
Man, he has had a difficult time after his first start against the Pirates. 5 innings, 1 earned run against the Pirates. It was a blown save. The Reds lost. Since that time, it has been a rough go of it. Last time out, 98 pitches in only 4 innings.
Yeah, that's the one thing that after a tough first inning here for the Brewers, Simon has shown no ability to go deep so far this season as Carter skies one into center field. That's Billy Hamilton. Quickly, there are 2 men out here in inning number 2.
Yeah, the other issue Simon is dealing with, he didn't sign until mid-March. He was back in the Dominican Republic. They said he was working out, being ready. The Reds signed him, and maybe just not ready and not able to build up the arm strength, and it might take him a while. He was with the Tigers last year, pretty good season.
Here's Kirk Neuenhuis. Neuenhuis had a pinch hit role yesterday in the game against the Angels, but had himself a pretty good homestand. The Brewers were really showing some offense there at the end of the Marlins series and getting the job done against the Angels, especially the first 2 nights. Neuenhuis 5 for 14 on that homestand against Miami and the Angels.
Offense was getting healthy there for about a 3-game stretch, really swinging the bats well. Darnell Coles with a big smile on his face. But one day does not necessarily lead to the next. When you're talking about offense, it comes and goes. That's why you really have to rely on your starting pitching to keep some semblance of normalcy, and that's been a tough thing for the Brewers to come by this year.
There's a reason that cliche is there, right? Momentum.
Yep.
Being as good as the next day's starter. There's a bouncing ball to Votto. He'll feed Simon, and it's another 1-2-3 inning here for the Brewers. Bottom of the second we go. It's 5-0 Cincinnati.
It's like a redo here as they trail 5-0 as in the second inning. Hey, this season the Brewers are offering 3 special all-kid giveaways at Miller Park. The first one's coming up on Sunday, May 15th, as the Brewers take on the Padres, and all kids 14 and under get a Jonathan Lucroy replica jersey. That's courtesy of Quick Trip.
Top of the order again for the Reds here in the second inning. Zach Cozart started that 5-run first with a base hit to right. A big blow at Jay Bruce, 3-run homer. So an error in the inning, helping lead to a run. As now Anderson trying to restore a little order, but Cozart sends one down the left field line, and that's going to go to the corner. And it's a stand-up double for Cozart to begin the bottom half of the second.
It got to be frustrating for Chase Anderson, just not able to put the baseball where he wants it. And look at that cut fastball, something like that. That really didn't do a whole lot. You know, down the middle of the plate, and Cozart hits it hard down the left field line. Nothing worse than not being able to command. And you don't throw all that hard. You can't throw the ball by hitters. You know, with the big velocity, you got to keep it on the corners. You just can't do it as much as you try.
Here's Billy Hamilton. Doubled and scored in the first. Trying to get that average back up. Trying to stay healthy. Everybody who even casually follows this division, they know how well he can run, a stolen base machine, but still doesn't hit the way that they would want, but covers a ton of ground out in center and has doubled already here tonight. 2-0 pitch.
And I guess the thought is dropping him from the leadoff spot. Cozart, number 1's been swinging a bat, but might get a few more pitches to hit batting in front of Joey Votto. Maybe get something to hit and get on base that way, right?
Find a way. Just find a spot in the order. Brian Price has shuffled it around a little bit. He's moved Suarez down, maybe to get more run production there, and it seems to be working. He was higher in the order, but Suarez, the guy with 18 RBIs, trying to get him in position to produce more runs or drive in more runs. The Reds team that's had some pretty good starting pitching here of late, 4 straight quality starts, but the bullpen has struggled mightily. And Hamilton pops one up trying to bunt, and Lucroy is there. There's out number 1. Thank you much.
A 3-1 pitch. Wow. And he pop it up. Thank you very much. Chase Anderson will take that. Watch the barrel of the bat drop. Drops, and that's how you pop it up. And Lucroy trying to go after it. He realizes that, you know, where the baseball is and able to make the catch. That's a lonely feeling for a catcher when you have that mask on and you get up, you don't know where it is, and finally finds it.
The only one in the park who doesn't know, right?
Yeah.
Locate it in time. There's Joey Votto. As Anderson gets a curveball for strike 1. Votto hitting better than 300 against the Brewers in his career. 24 homers. And he's down 2 strikes and nothing to Anderson. Votto, a 4-time All-Star, an MVP, a Gold Glover. Coming off a very good year at the plate a year ago. As he's choking up down 0-2. Fox tracks showing it just outside. An MVP year for Votto. That's where the power was on display. A 37 homer year. And he's a guy who would get you, at least for a couple of years, triple-digit RBIs. But, you know, last year he hit 314 and had the 29 homers. So it might surprise you to know there was only an 80 RBI year for him.
Right, he's only had 100 or more RBIs in 2 seasons, 2010 and 11.
Anderson ready with the 2-2 pitch. And that's right back to the box. And Anderson, now they have Cozart hung up. That's VR, the flip to Walsh. And Walsh will apply the tag. Cozart drifting a little too much there, and the Brewers able to get him.
Yeah, good rundown by the Brewers. They get Cozart at second base. Kind of skirting off a little bit too much. You know, 1 to 6 to 5 on the put out, and they get the out, and they keep Votto at first base. Executed nicely.
So Votto the runner at first with 2 men out here in the second for the Reds. Brandon Phillips, a sacrifice fly in the first. Pretty well hit actually out into center that Neuenheist ended up making a nice play on to record the first out of what turned into a 5-run inning for the Reds. Anderson last year was terrific against Cincinnati, did not allow an earned run, but the Reds jumped on him here in the first inning tonight.
That was kind of what we saw in spring training too with Chase Anderson. I mean, just about every one of his starts early on, he was better as spring training went on, but early problems for Anderson first, second inning, and then he was able to settle down. And sometimes you give up 5 in the first, a little bit too late.
2 balls, no strikes to Phillips. A good hack. You just hope from the Brewers' perspective that Anderson can settle, and then the Brewers can get their bats going against a Red starter who has had his own problems this year. Deepest he's going in a game, talking about Simon, is 5 innings. And that was in his first start.
And a 13.5 earned run average. So you figure the Brewers are going to get some runs.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Brandon Phillips. Four-time Gold Glover for the Reds.
It's amazing he's still a Red, though. I mean,
yeah.
Everybody talking about, the Reds going to trade him, and a lot of teams would love to have Brandon Phillips. I mean, not just for what he does on the field, but I don't think there's anybody in baseball that has more fun out there than Phillips.
Yeah, very popular player around here in Cincinnati. Yeah, a lot of folks thought he was going to be a national, and he gets into one here, left center field, and that is gone. Brandon Phillips, a 2-run homer, and it's a 7-0 game.
Have a 2-2 fastball, and once again, location issues. Check it out. Yep, right down the middle of the play. Look at Phillips, back legs that one, and gives that one a ride out in the center field. Now out into that Cincinnati bullpen. That's what you call getting extension on a baseball. So 2 long homers for Cincinnati in the first couple innings.
Well, the Reds picking up where they left off yesterday when they homered 5 times against the Giants. Here's Jay Bruce into the shift. It's Aaron Hill, and the inning is over, but the Reds get a couple of more runs, and we are through 2. It is 7-0 Cincinnati. big early jump on the Brewers here, 7-0 to score. Hey, on Sunday, wake up to a pair of heavyweight wars as former champions and knockout masters finally meet in the octagon when Alistair Overeem takes on Andrei Arlovsky. Plus, it's a battle of the giants with between Bigfoot and Struve. It's all at a special time, 10 a.m. Central, Sunday morning, only on FS1. And watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Brewers looking for their first hitter to reach. 6 up, 6 down here against Alfredo Simon. Hill, Walsh, and Anderson here in the top half of the third. Simon, as we mentioned, it's an elbow or biceps tendonitis very early in the season, and gives up his first hit as Aaron Hill takes him to center field. Hit number 1 for the Crew.
Man, the scouting report on Simon is a lot of split-fingered fastballs, and he's actually got one that he throws that is about 68, 67 miles an hour. They call it an ephus. We haven't seen one yet. And Aaron Hill able to hit that breaking pitch back into center field. So not a guy that relies on his fastball a whole lot, especially against lefties. I mean, the scouting report on this guy, more splitters than fastballs to lefties. There's a fastball.
It gets by Colin Walsh. Yeah, that ephus pitch, he had the slowest pitch of the year. Well, he absolutely had the slowest pitch of the year last year. It was clocked at just shy of 47.
How hard do you think you could throw one?
Right now?
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to the State Fair and go to one of those things.
I'd probably, and my arm would feel like it would fall off. I'd probably hit 60 if I'm lucky.
I'm telling you, yeah, I know.
Right?
It's true. I mean, it's harder than you think to get 60 miles an hour. I mean, these big leaguers, I mean, routinely mid-90s. But to throw one under 50 miles an hour in a big league game, that's pretty unique.
Yeah, we thought Jared Weaver was slow the other night.
Right.
It's flame-throwing. There's Walsh, a ground ball to Phillips. There's one to Kozak, and the throw takes Votto off the bag, but he'll apply the tag, and that's a 4-6-3 double play. Two outs and the base is empty here in the third for the Brewers.
And nobody does it better than those two, but Kozart's throw, you can see a little nonchalant, but Votto able to help him out with a tag as Walsh goes by.
Chase Anderson taking a strike.
I guess the point is you get kind of desensitized when you're watching on television, when everybody getting out of that bullpen and starters are throwing 94, 96, 97 miles an hour. You think it's easy. It's not.
Amazing how much your arm would hurt the next day too, if you're, or mine would. I know that.
Even if you could.
You're right. I'm guessing a lot of people have been humbled when they've, if it's the county fair or wherever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can bring it. Yeah, probably not. And here's a nice play by Kozart behind the bag at second. Kozart's turned in a couple of pretty good plays here in the first 3 innings for the Reds. We are through 2.5 here. Game 1 of 4 in Cincinnati. The Reds have the lead 7-0.
2-0 lead over the Brewers into the bottom of the third inning. Last homestand, Brewers Community Foundation held a peanut butter drive for charity at Miller Park. 5 barrels of peanut butter were donated, along with a $1,000 contribution to Feeding America. Brewers Community Foundation would like to thank all the fans who participated. Kids love peanut butter, and adults, and their contribution will help those that are in need. Matt?
All right, Telly. Sounded like a peanut butter lover right there.
Yeah,
huh?
got me hungry.
Yeah, absolutely. Chase Anderson roughed up for 5 in the first and 2 more in the second. Couple of home runs already. Jay Bruce and Brandon Phillips, that has accounted for 5 of the 7 so far for the Reds.
Yeah, it took Chase a little longer to get out on the mound in his warm-up toss. If you wonder why it's taken so long, that he made the last out. He was busting it down the line and kind of took his time in the dugout, which most pitchers do.
We'll see if he can string together a couple zeros here. And Suarez grounded to third in the first inning. And Suarez got a lot of playing time last year after the Zach Cozart injury. And Suarez put together a pretty nice year for himself, and 6 homers and 18 RBIs through the first month of this season for the Reds.
He swings it pretty good. He really does. He struggled defensively over at third base so far. 6 errors.
He played a lot of shortstop a year ago. And there you see these last few years for him. The 13 homer season last year. 3-1 the count. Originally signed as a free agent with the Tigers back in 2008. Did Suarez. This is hit in the air to right field. Alex Presley is waiting for it. 1 out.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Anderson be able to, get things together and give Craig Counsell, a few more innings. Depending on how things shake out when he comes up. The Brewers need some runs here, so you hope that Counsell does not have to go to the bullpen too early. Remember, Willie Peralta not making his start. He's going to be starting on Monday. So with Tyler Cravey getting his start tomorrow, you're thinking that perhaps the bullpen is going to be active early. But you never know. Bottom line is, you like to see Chase Anderson be able to eat up a few more innings here tonight.
Talked about some shuffling that the Brewers are doing, and we mentioned with Peralta. The Brewers have made a waiver claim. We've added a left-hander, or will when he gets here. Michael Kirkman claimed off waivers. He had been most recently with the San Diego Padres. There he is. And you see what he did last year at Colorado Springs. He's had bits and pieces of big league time, mostly with the Texas Rangers, including a couple of years ago. There's Adam Duvall with a ground ball over to third. That's Colin Walsh. And there are 2 men out.
David Stearns and Matt Arnold digging around, trying to figure out some pieces that they can go to and maybe down the road use here at the big league level. And it's kind of the way the season's going to be this year. You're going to see some guys come up, go down, and Craig Counsell wants to have a pretty good understanding of what he has going into the season next year.
Sam Freeman designated for assignment a few days ago. Chris Capuano would be the lone left-hander down there, so now Kirkman will add to that. Here's Tucker Barnhart sending one into left center field. Long run, new and high, and he makes the sliding catch. Nice play by the Brewers center fielder, covering a lot of ground here in Great American Ballpark and taking extra bases away. We are through 3 in Cincinnati. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. 7-0 Reds lead Milwaukee as we go to the 4th inning. Kirk Neuenhuis is putting in a pretty good workout out in center field so far tonight. Here's the play that ended the bottom of the 3rd.
Yeah, it took a questionable route on the ball early in the game in the 1st inning, but a nice job right there, angling back and able to make the catch in the webbing going down. And saving Chase Anderson some extra bases. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Anderson. Getting his running in tonight.
He is. Top of the order, VR, Presley, and Braun here for the Brewers. As VR slaps a single to left. It's his first hit of the night, and he continues to reach base consistently. It's 23 out of 26 games where he's been on at least once.
Yeah, keep the Reds off the board, and you know the history for Simon has not been good this year at all. So you figure the Brewers offense is going to be able to get going off speed pitch, and VR doing a real good job taking it to the opposite field. So a leadoff base runner again for Milwaukee.
Here's Alex Presley. A liner that was snagged by Cozart on an impressive play in the 1st inning. But yeah, it's worth reminding you about Simon. 5 innings is as deep as he's gone. Had some biceps tendonitis and actually made a relief appearance for the first time in 3 years, and that didn't go well against the Cardinals. He's really been banged around when he's been out there so far this season for the Reds. There's a bouncing ball. Phillips the play, and the force at second as Cozart covers, and that'll erase VR for out number 1.
Yeah, tremendous play. I mean, most second base are going to be happy with the out at first. And Brandon Phillips. And check this out. Little jump throw over to second base, right on the money, and they get the lead out. That's how you win multiple Gold Gloves, plays like that, and he makes them look routine.
Well, he's a guy who can go into basketball mode at times too. He can go behind the back when he has to. It's not. It looks flashy, but sometimes it's just necessary. It is flashy, but at times necessary. Glove flips,
turning double plays. You know, barehanded, catch him barehanded, and throw to first base. Yeah.
Here's Ryan Braun, first pitch swinging. Cozart, Phillips, Votto, double play. 6-4-3, and the Brewers stay off the board. Bottom of the 4th we go.
To the bottom of the 4th inning, and tonight's time of the game winner, Sportsman's Bar in Ridgeland, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 Friday night tickets to a Miller Lite beer pen game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite beer pen.
That's a night. That's a good Friday night.
Yeah, I kind of messed it up the first time, but wanted to clean it up a bit.
It's all right.
There you go.
Emphasize a Friday night at the ballpark. That's good, man.
Yeah. On this Cinco de Mayo tonight.
Yes, the Los Rojos unis worn by the Reds here this evening. Those are our counterparts next door. Had the garb going tonight, right?
Sombreros on the Oakland, and yep. Yeah, the Brewers have their own version, a Cerveceros on their jerseys on Cerveceros Day in Milwaukee. Not tonight.
Not tonight. 0-2 pitch. Anderson to Alfredo Simon. Chase missing with a curveball. Both teams with 11 wins going into this game. Brewers 11-16. The Reds 11-17. First scoreless inning for the Reds in the third. A 5-run first and a 2-run second. 1-2 pitch to Simon. Fastball is in there for strike 3 called, and there's out number 1.
That first strikeout for Chase Anderson, able to catch the outside corner with that one.
It's a matter of trying to give his team another inning or 2 here, perhaps, and then see if the bats can start to go to work against Simon. Top of the order, Zach Cozart.
Man, they get into that Cincinnati pen that's been having a really rough time this year.
Yeah, it has given up runs now in 22 straight games. 22 straight team games. And that is a big league record, and it's phrased that way because the Indians, like 5 years ago, or more than a decade ago, I should say, there was actually a 30-game stretch where when the bullpen was called upon, it gave up a run, or at least a run, but in the middle of that stretch, there was a complete game there. In 22 straight team games, the Reds bullpen has surrendered at least a run. So if you're not totally confused by that, get to the bullpen, start to beat them up. That's the goal here.
That's the bottom line, right? They have had a tough time of it.
Cozart to center field. Neuenhuis out number 2.
Well, I understood what you were saying.
You following along? All right.
And if I understand it, then just about everybody's going to understand it.
I was a little nervous about trying to explain it there. That's what happens when you don't have Aroldis Chapman anymore, I guess.
And you really don't replace him with anybody, right? You don't have the big-time closer, and it kind of brings your bullpen in a little bit of turmoil. Nobody really fits into any particular spot. J.J. Hoover, been acting as the closer, has not done all that well. The Reds bullpen has a .644 earned run average.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the Brewers starting rotation and the struggles that they have had. And the Reds have had a similar issue with the bullpen. It's a team that won 5 of its first 6 games and has gone 6-16 since. Brian Price knew it. He talked about it, kind of knew what they might be in for. Is this ball club trying to build back to a playoff level? And strike 3 is called to Billy Hamilton. So a good clean inning for Anderson, and we are through 4 in Cincinnati. Brewers 7-0. That man, Chris Carter, will hit second here in the top of the fifth. And when he hits, he often hits it real hard. Let's go back to that Angels game for Tuesday night. Check out that exit velocity as well as the distance. 109 and 433. That was the first home run. And then he does this to a Nick Tropiano curveball. Just went to launching into the left field seats.
What do you have one at about 116? One of his home runs this year, 117, something like that. And this incredible leverage. I mean, it's all about bat speed at the point of contact. He doesn't overswing, but when he makes that solid contact, that ball doesn't have a chance.
Oh, Lucroy just took one there. Looks like he's all right. They take enough foul tips, and now he gets hit by a pitch.
Was it right in the ribs? Where'd it get him?
Let's check it out.
Yeah. And he's going to feel that tomorrow. Yep. Right on the ribs.
Tough guy.
Well, if you're not, don't bother catching.
I've heard that.
A little bit of advice. If you can't take that kind of thing, don't catch. Taking the shin guard off, walking to first base, and
didn't really flinch, did he?
Didn't rub it.
What you guys do. Chris Carter. Check out the Powerball home run leaderboard. Showed you the highlights of his home runs from the other night. Chris Carter atop the leaderboard with 5 homers, followed by Ryan Braun. Scooter Gennett working his way back. DL and Domingo Santana not in the lineup tonight. Shoulder tightness again keeps him out. 2 strikes or nothing to Chris Carter. Fastball high from Alfredo Simon.
Seems to me Simon's throwing a lot more fastballs tonight. I guess you can do that with a 7-run lead, and we've been hearing all day about all the off-speed stuff he throws, the splitters. It's been really a steady diet of fastballs, at least early in the count, to try and work ahead. There's a breaking ball. Change the arm angle on it.
It's been part of the storyline of Simon, although he's not throwing, as you said, as many fastballs. When he does, it's gone up a tick every time out over the last 4, averaging about 95. Where in that first start it was closer to 91. A ball, 2 strikes to Carter.
Yeah, getting a lot of the plate with his pitches. I mean, that was the word on him, but he's been doing a much better job tonight. Again, I mean, he had a late start to spring training. Mid-March, was it March 17th he signed, and really didn't have much of a spring training, and just trying to work himself back into form. Had a winning record with Detroit last year, 13-12, but an earned run average over 5.
Yeah, had a couple of complete games for the Tigers. We mentioned that good stretch he had with the Reds from 2012 to 14. Won 24 games against 16 losses in that stretch. The ERA a little bit over 2. .32 times as a starter there, all in 2014. And that's some 99 appearances out of the bullpen before they moved him to Detroit, and then he signs a free agent deal with the Reds during the offseason. 2-2 pitch coming to Carter. That was ripped foul. Carter atop the National League in slugging percentage coming into the game at .681. Still the most extra base hits at 19 with the 9 homers and 10 doubles. 8th pitch of the at bat coming up here. Simon versus Carter, and that is Strike 3 called for out number 1.
Yeah, he hung that one, a curveball, and just froze Carter on that pitch. You can see where it is, number 8, right down the middle up. Hey, you can save big on tickets when you bring your group of 25 or more to Miller Park this year. Group packages start as low as $6 per ticket and are available in a variety of customizable space. That's pretty good.
That's impressive.
That kind of surprised me, including tailgate grids, all-inclusive areas, party suites, and more.
Customizable.
Yeah. I was happy with that.
That is a solid effort, particularly unrehearsed and extra solid.
Yeah, I saw the word, I panicked. It came out.
Is that a lonely feeling or what?
That's 5 syllables.
That's
rare for me.
That's a lot to ask. That's a lot to ask for any of us.
Even pros like you, right?
Especially pros like me. Now, if BA gets back a week from Saturday, it'll just, roll off the tongue. No problem,
the promo quality is going down considerably.
Customizable.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you learn. New terminology. 2-1 to Nieuwenhuis. Grounded to Votto in the second inning to Nieuwenhuis. He's made a couple of impressive plays in center field. He's gotten in a lot of running. And there's a ground ball slapped to Brandon Phillips. 2 men out as Lucroy will move to second. Showing Kozar where he got beaten there, going right to the ribs. Luke's been, we talked a lot about Ryan Braun and Chris Carter, and with reason, but looking at a 300 hitter there, and Jonathan Lucroy, a couple of nice hitting streaks, and came into this game with a lot of success against Simon, 6 for 10 against him. 0 for 1 and got drilled by a pitch here in this 5th inning. Here's Aaron Hill.
Yeah, been a good start offensively for Lucroy, and he worked hard at it. He worked hard in spring training, got a lot of at bats, and it's paid off for him.
Aaron Hill with that 3rd inning single. He has now hit safely in his last 6 games. 7 for 17 in that stretch. Continues to, after a very tough start at the plate, just trying to dig out of that hole and get the average back up. Playing the good defense along the way. RBI chance here for Hill in the 5th. Still a very healthy pitch count there for Alfredo Simon.
He's had a lot of low pitch innings. The 2 double plays have helped him out.
2 balls, 1 strike to Hill. Leaving the count.
They had a cut fastball just off the edge, and Aaron not able to hold up. Did he go? Yes, he did.
Brewers with just a couple of hits against Simon. Runner in scoring position, Jonathan Lucroy. And Hill will send one down the line and right, and it's going to carry out a play. Hill with a hit in yesterday's game against the Angels. Brewers taking 2 out of 3 in that set, and go 3 up and 3 down in the homestand. Simon again ready with the 2-2. That's back up the middle, and that's going to drop a base hit. Here comes Lucroy. Hamilton with the throw to the plate, and Lucroy is in for the first run for the Crew. Run scoring single for Aaron Hill. He now has a 2-hit night going.
And you just wonder why Billy Hamilton elected to go into home plate with that, a 7-0 lead. And because of that, Aaron Hill able to get into scoring position. Good job by Aaron Hill. That was that slider and able to take it right back through the middle. Same pitch that he checked his swing, or at least tried to. He went through, called a strike, and Billy Hamilton going to home plate, not even close, and Hill able to get into second base.
So the Brewers get on the board here in the 5th. 8th RBI of the year for Aaron Hill, and now Colin Walsh with an opportunity.
That game situation pretty much dictates to you where you should throw the baseball, and in my mind, you know, that's a situation where you just throw it into second base. The run's going to score. It's 7-1. No big deal, but you throw into home plate. Now you have another opportunity to score another run. Just peck away.
Well, let's see if Walsh can take advantage of the chance here. So we'll lift this out of play. Colin did yesterday what he has done well in his time as a Brewer, and that's draw walks. Pinch hit roll yesterday, drew a walk, his 11th of the year. It's the ongoing story of the low batting average, but the good on base percentage.
And Craig Counsell continues to give him playing time, trying to get him going. Switch hitter.
0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Simon gets him with a fastball, and that'll do it for the Brewers, but they pick up a run halfway through. It's 7-1 Cincinnati. Reds lead the Brewers here in Cincinnati. Time now for our Carsoup.com trivia question. Who are the only two players with more home runs than Ryan Braun? He's an opposing player at Great American Ballpark. And Ryan's hit a lot of them here in this yard. We're the only two players with more.
It's got to be hitters in the Central Division.
You would think.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
Yeah, a lot of opportunities here.
Play a lot of games against your own division.
In a home run friendly ballpark. Here's Joey Votto. Walked and reached on a fielder's choice. Scored a couple of runs so far. Chase Anderson had a very rough start, but he's kept the Reds off the board the last couple of innings. Recording a couple of strikeouts, his first two of the night in the 4th. Bottom of inning number 5 we go here in Cincinnati. Earlier today, the Cardinals beat the Phillies 4-0. Jaime Garcia, very effective again. 7 innings of shutout ball. The Nationals and the Cubs are through the first at Wrigley Field. That's a big matchup, big series. Early.
2 of the top records in all of baseball right there, locking horns.
The Cubs already with 20 wins in their first 26 games. The Nats are 19-8 as Votto draws a walk.
Hey, one of the music industry's hottest stars is coming to Miller Park on Saturday, May 14th, as platinum selling artist Andy Grammer takes the stage following the Brewers matchup against the San Diego Padres to perform a free post-game concert presented by Pick and Save.
Next homestand, Brewers on the road here, 4 in Cincinnati, 3 in Miami. And the Padres come to town beginning 1 week from tonight. Here's Brandon Phillips. Already has a 3 RBI night going, a sacrifice fly and a 2-run homer.
2 walks by Chase Anderson, both coming to Joey Votto.
No surprise, huh?
No.
Not so much that there would be the walks from the pitcher offered up, but it would be Votto the one.
Yeah, Votto has led the National League in walks 4 of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And the 1 year he didn't, he was hurt.
Yeah, more than 140 walks drawn a year ago. 0-1 pitch to Phillips. A swing and a miss. Phillips has had some power years, including a 30-homer season, but you're going back 9 years ago. He homered 12 times last year, drove in 70. 3-time All-Star, most recently in 2013. He and Votto are working that right side of the infield once again tonight, and that's the 998th time that those two have combined. Most in the history of this organization. The ball, 2 strikes to Phillips. And that caught the corner.
And he tried to sell that one, didn't he?
He did.
Jackknifing out of the way, but Adrian Johnson rings him up. More than Perez and Morgan, huh?
More than Perez and Morgan.
How about that? Yeah, looking away. It looks like Chase Anderson got the benefit of the doubt on this call. Wasn't that far inside, was it?
Nah, looked good.
A selling act.
Our BMW player profile as we look at Jay Bruce, and we're telling you the damage he's inflicted on the Brewers, and that is continued tonight with a 3-run homer in the first inning. He's another one of those players. We talked about it with Phillips during the offseason. There was thought that Phillips would be moved to the Nationals, and Jay Bruce's name comes up quite a bit as well.
Every year, right?
Yeah, it does.
The last few years.
2 balls, no strikes.
2 guys that were talked about as can't miss trade guys. Jay Bruce, Jonathan Lucroy. Everybody talking about, you know, who's going to get those 2 guys. Well, they're both still with the same team.
Final year of Bruce's contract. A different story here for Lucroy. 2-1 pitch. Bruce out in front. That'll leave the count at 2-2.
Change up away.
Well, Bruce, one of those players that you don't really look for high average. You just look for a lot of run production, a big arm out in right field. 2-2 pitch. Just outside.
They don't run on Jay Bruce in the outfield. The Brewers know that better than anybody. He'll gun you down. He's got a very strong, accurate arm.
Full count to the Reds right fielder. And he got him swinging. So another strikeout. Changeup takes care of Jay Bruce. 2 men out here in the 5th.
A couple good changeups that he threw to Jay Bruce there, and Bruce swinging through both of them. This one's a foul tip. This one's out of the zone. And Bruce trying to hook it. There you see, working him away and got away with it. Nothing really on the plate except for one pitch.
So 2 men out with Votto the runner at first. Suarez the hitter. Suarez 0 for 2, a ground ball to third and a fly ball to right. Reds with 6 hits to go with the 7 runs here in this game.
And haven't had a run or a hit since that 2nd inning.
There's Chris Capuano getting loose.
Anderson's spot due to lead off.
Votto the only red to reach since that 2nd inning for Cincinnati. And Anderson is ahead of ball 2 strikes. So bouncing back, but the question is, can the Brewers make up the ground? A lot of work to do. Here's the 1-2.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's got to be really frustrating for Anderson and Derek Johnson to figure out ways for Chase to come out sharp and trying to eliminate these early inning issues that he's had. I mean, he's not the first guy that's had that, and not the first with the Brewers. Some guys have tried to get down there and warm up a little bit, then sit down and then get back up and warm up and change the routine just a little bit. Maybe throw a few more pitches down in the bullpen, but sometimes it really doesn't matter. It's frustrating. Just can't find that location until third, 4th inning, and sometimes, like maybe tonight, it might be a little bit too late.
5 runs in the first, 2 more in the second. Suarez pops this one up. Aaron Hill will call for it. It's another good inning for Chase Anderson. We are through 5. It is 7-1 Cincinnati. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. A 7-1 game here in Cincinnati, first of 4, Brewers and Reds, and Yadiel Rivera will pinch hit. Leading off the 6th inning for Milwaukee. So the night ends for Chase Anderson. 5 innings, 6 hits, 7 runs, 6 of which are earned. A couple of walks, 4 strikeouts, and 2 home runs allowed. Bruce and Phillips. But he did keep the Reds off the board in innings 3, 4, and 5. And so now the question is, can the Brewers start to get to Alfredo Simon? They did touch him up for their first run of the night in the 5th. It's Rivera, Villar, and Presley here for the Crew.
Yeah, Simon in uncharted waters here for him this year, working in the 6th inning.
Yeah, 5 is as deep as he has gone, and that was in his first outing of the year against the Pirates.
And figure out a way to come out of the bullpen sharp. He was pretty good the final 3 innings.
Yeah, bottle that. And then next time around, bring it right away. And foul tip. Yeah, it looked like it got, or sounded like it got a piece there of the bat.
Yeah, right under the hands as he was trying to avoid the baseball.
And Rivera, a little bloop. That's going to drop in there to right field, a base hit. So Yadiel Rivera pinch hitting. Leads off the 6th with a single.
Yeah, 4 consecutive innings now. The Brewers have been able to get their leadoff hitter aboard, and this is a cue shot right off the end of the bat over Phillips' head and into right field on a breaking pitch.
So let's see if this starts something for Milwaukee. Top of the order. Here's VR at the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. 4th inning single as he once again reaches. Leads safely in 23 of his 26 games. First pitch swing and a ground ball to Cozart, and that is a tailor-made double play.
Every time, huh? 3 double plays now. I mean, as tailor-made as it gets. A couple of hops. Check out Brandon Phillips. Pretty smooth over there.
Still going strong. This is a Brewers team that was helped by the double play, getting double plays in the series against the Angels. They had rounded into more than anybody in the big leagues, but it's the Brewers tonight guilty of it. As Rock mentioned, that's 3 of them now.
Yeah, coming in, Cincinnati had the 2nd fewest double plays turned in all the National League. Only 14, whether it's 17 now.
Here's Presley.
That's more of an indictment on the pitching staff than it is on the defense.
Right. Simon getting ground balls in this game for the Reds. 2 balls, no strikes to Presley, playing right field again tonight. A couple of hits yesterday and a walk. The game against the Angels. He's done some nice things out there in his still brief time as a Brewer. 3 hits in the homestand. It's his 5th start out in right here tonight.
Yep, another off day for Domingo Santana, nursing that bulky shoulder that he's got. And Craig Counsell is hoping that the days off are going to eliminate that issue. Hoping to be back in the lineup tomorrow.
Presley, a liner into right center field, a base hit. Jay Bruce over to cut it off. And Alex Presley with his first hit of the night. Let's revisit our carsoup.com trivia question. As Ryan Braun makes his way to the plate. Two are the only two players with more home runs than Brawny as an opposing player at Great American Ballpark.
Yeah, how about Lance Berkman, right?
Yeah.
Houston Astros, Cardinals, and Albert.
Yeah, saw him again this week. Don't need to see him again anytime soon. Pujols has had great numbers, as we all know, against the Brewers in his career.
Yeah, every 3 years is enough.
Yeah. Included, Brawny hit a slam here early last season in the Milwaukee win.
Ramos Ramirez on the list.
0-1 pitch to Braun. We're seeing Pujols with the Angels, and then seeing Mike Trout in person for the first time. That was a treat. And the good news was the Brewers won the series. Right. Trout was just terrific, as he usually is.
Yeah, had the big blow in yesterday's game. A big home run on a 0-2 pitch. Had a couple of home runs in the series.
They did. Also tripled yesterday. As the Angels had a rally in the 8th inning to take the final game after the Brewers won the first two. 2-1 to Braun. Swing and a miss.
Pretty good cutter by Simon. Far and away his best start of the year.
Looking more like the Alfredo Simon of a couple of years ago for the Reds. And as Rock mentioned, he had a winning record last year. The ERA was high for the Tigers, but he won 13 games and 25 decisions. 2-2 pitch, a one-hopper to Phillips on the first, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the 6th. Bottom of the 6th we go. It is 7-1 Cincinnati.
The 6th inning in Cincinnati. Let's check out what's going on down on the farm in our minor league report. Angel Ortega was named the Brewers minor league player of the month for April. He batted .337. He was 29 for 86. The 22-year-old from Puerto Rico was a 6th-round pick in the 2012 MLB draft, and he's doing all this work for the Brevard County Manatees. Matt?
All right, Telly, thank you very much. Tabs always on the system, minor league system, is now Chris Capuano in here in the 6th inning for the Crew.
Yeah, 11th appearance, a .450 earned run average. Cappy last pitched on Saturday against the Marlins. An inning and 2/3, a couple of hits, a couple of strikeouts, and he did allow a run. The only left-hander now in that Brewers bullpen.
until Michael Kirkman gets here. Maybe a couple days away. We'll see. Brewers claiming him off waivers from the Padres. Adam Duvall leading off here for the Reds. Duvall reached on an error in the first inning and came around and scored. He grounded to third in the third. Finding a place for Duvall in the lineup. That's why he's out and left. Played a lot of corner infield. They want to get his bat out there. Reds traded for him. They sent Mike Leake to the Giants near the deadline. The end of last July, got Duvall back. Duvall, a first round, or rather an 11th round pick by the Giants 6 years ago. Debuted in the big leagues 4 years later. And ironically, his first big league homer was against Leake. And they're involved in a trade a couple of years later, or 1 year later. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 7, 8, and 9 in the Cincinnati batting order here in the bottom of the 6th. Big inning was the first one for the Reds. Off of Chase Anderson, put a 5 spot on the board. Jay Bruce with a 3-run homer, 2 more in the second. A 2-run shot off the bat of Brandon Phillips.
Yeah, that came with 2 outs. It looked like Anderson was going to be able to get out of the inning, and it was a 2-strike fastball he hit out of the ballpark.
Full count to Duvall. And the payoff pitch. Strike 3 called. And there's out number 1 here in the 6th.
They have 4 strikeouts tonight for the Reds. Looking, they had another one swing. That was Jay Bruce. But taking a lot of pitches. You can see number 6 right on the corner on the inside. Good job for Lucroy holding it there nicely, extending that arm, making it look much better to Adrian Johnson.
That's interesting. They are taking a lot of pitches you expected with Votto, but the Reds are last in the National League in walks coming into this game. Trying to work their way aboard that way. Votto has walked twice. The only Red who has walked in this game. Tucker Barnhart. 1 for 2 tonight, and a good play by Neuenhuis, taking away another chance for a hit in the 3rd. A sliding catch out in center. We'll see what the Brewers get out of Capuano tonight. He has had 4 games where he has worked a couple of innings. The Brewers will have the middle of the order in the 7th. Maybe they can put a big frame together and would be in need of a pinch hitter, but someone who could give you a couple if needed.
Right. Well, and you hope that he's going to get pinch hit for. That means something good's happening for the Brewers in the 7th.
Capuano with a 1-2. And Barnhart goes down swinging. Changeup taking care of the Reds catcher, and there are 2 men out in the 6th.
And he's got a good one, that Capuano changeup. Hey, download the MLB.com ballpark app and personalize your trip to Miller Park with digital ticket access, seat upgrades, concession maps, check-in offers, and more. Download Ballpark today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
I'm just looking for the word customizable. No. Not in there. Not in there this time. All right.
I'm actually going to have to cross that out. There's no way I'm going to be able to say that again.
Go with manageable, maybe.
You can customize.
Yeah. You can make it work for you. Alfredo Simon. Pretty good night on the mound. He's allowed just a run on 5 hits through 6 innings of work. Capuano ahead, no balls, 2 strikes. The veteran, one of the non-roster invitees to make the club. 22 appearances last year with the Yankees. And helping Craig Counsell's team out of the bullpen here in 2016. 0-2 pitch. He got him swinging. That will do it. A 1-2-3 inning. We are through 6. It is 7-1 Cincinnati. The Reds leading the Brewers 7-1 here at Great American Ballpark. Hey, on Saturday, MLB on FS1 is back with 2 big games featuring some of baseball's best players. It all starts as the Rangers take on the Tigers in a game you can only see on FS1. Then the Nationals head to Wrigley to take on the Cubs. The action starts at 11:30 a.m. Central on FS1 or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Big time series early in the year. The Nats and Cubs are scoreless through 3 so far tonight at Wrigley. A clear and cool night, but not an uncomfortable one here in Cincinnati.
It's real nice out tonight.
Definitely, we'll take it. Nice calm evening. Had a few raindrops as the Brewers were starting to wrap up batting practice, but it was just a few drops. And all good to go tonight.
It cleared up. Turned out to be a nice night.
Lucroy, his last plate appearance, took a pitch to the ribs. And he has scored the lone run tonight for Milwaukee. Grounded out to third back in the 2nd inning. Two balls, 1 strike. Alfredo Simon. Deepest he has gone in any one start this season. A couple of complete games last year as Lucroy lets a fly ball left center field. Hamilton on the run. He'll play it off the wall. Lucroy on his way into second. Hamilton bobbled it for a second, but it will be a double for Lucroy, his first hit of the night.
Yep, and his success against Alfredo Simon continues. That's his 7th hit. Got hit by a pitch, now a double. And the Brewers have had good luck getting their leadoff hitter on tonight. What's that, 5 in a row?
It is.
Only been able to score once. Double plays that really cost him dearly tonight, but Lucroy able to get things going nicely in the 7th. A ringing double. Smoked that pitch.
Now the Brewers have hit into 3 double plays in this stretch where they have put the leadoff man aboard. But a double here from Lucroy, and it sets up an RBI chance for Chris Carter. Carter a fly ball to center and a called 3rd strike in the 5th. Talked about Brewers hitters with patience at the plate. Some numbers would tell you that Carter, he can put it in play sooner than later in the at-bat. He has success. In the first 3 pitches, he's hitting .463. But an at-bat that goes deeper than that, the numbers are far below that lofty total. 2-homer night on Tuesday against the Angels. He has 9 bombs this season. Curveball misses from Simon.
Yeah, he got caught looking on a Simon curveball last time up. Very patient at the plate. Don't see him swing out of the zone too often.
A lot of ground to make up. See if the Brewers can start doing that here in the top half of the 7th.
Hits are even right now.
Yeah, 7 runs on 6 hits for Cincinnati. Carter a little chopper to third. That's Eugenio Suarez. That's out number 1. Lucroy staying at second. Now Simon will work against Kirk Neuenhuis. 34 years old, Alfredo Simon. Originally signed with the Orioles back in 1999. And debuted in the big leagues 9 years later.
Yeah, big man, 6'6", 267 pounds. That's a big man out there.
Yeah, it's well, they've had some big guys through the years, either starting or in the bullpen. They have one now, J.J. Hoover.
Aaron Harang.
Yeah. There's Broxton, who was a Brewer and a Red. Jonathan Broxton now with the St. Louis Cardinals. This is a Reds team that is so different in the rotation than what it was last year. They were all rookies from the end of July on in the starting rotation a year ago, and they're still waiting on the return this year of Homer Bailey, Anthony DeSclafani. Here's Homer Bailey, Tommy John surgery last season. Two balls, 1 strike to Kirk Neuenhuis. Lucroy, the runner, at second. And the count is even. Neuenhuis, a ground ball to first and a ground ball to second.
Well, Neuenhuis looking for a couple of fastballs. Got the splitter. 2-0 and 2-1.
And now on 2-2. We'll take a look at strike 3 called. A backwards K here at the ballpark tonight, and Neuenhuis did not agree, I don't believe, with that call.
No, in a curveball that might have been up off the plate. You can see number 5 there. And he had a gripe. That wasn't even close, actually, and Adrian Johnson ringing it up. I think the home plate umpire is a pitcher's umpire tonight. What do you think?
I think so, yeah. A couple, 1 or 2 that went Chase Anderson's way, and Simon just got a little help. Here's Aaron Hill. He's 2 for 2. A couple of singles to center, including a run-scoring knock in the 5th inning. 6-game hitting streak going for him. And a chance for another RBI. Let's see if he can pick up Lucroy. One-0 pitch to Hill. It's missed away. This is the 3rd season where Simon has been primarily a starter, well, actually the 4th. The last 2 years with the Reds and the Tigers, and 16 starts with the Orioles back in 2011. 63 appearances out of the bullpen for the Reds in 2013.
Forced into the starting rotation, and it worked out pretty well.
2-1 to Hill. Bouncing ball over the mound, but Phillips will gobble it up. And that will be out number 3 here in the 7th for Milwaukee. Bottom of the 7th we go with the Reds leading the Brewers 7-1. Almost automatic when you come to this town. You got to check out this little skyline chili. I mean, you can't come into this town and then leave without at least Sam. Look at that. Just pile that cheese on that bad boy like that. Huh? No?
I'm going to avoid it.
Hey, can I say we appreciate it?
It really looks good. It really looks good. Have you had any?
I have, as a matter of fact. Yeah, a year ago.
Did we go? Did you go without me?
You know what? No, they, I believe, had it here at the park.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
So if we ask, he may decline. Is that what you're saying? Here's Zach Cozart leading off the 6th. That is well hit to center, and Neuenhuis with another nice play. Hauls it in at the track, and then he's made 2 or 3 nice plays out in center here in this ballgame.
Yeah, he's been busy. He wasn't able to come up with the first one off the bat of Billy Hamilton, but he was playing real shallow with Hamilton at the plate and able to track this one back and able to make a nice catch. I mean, you turn yourself around on that or you make a bad route to that baseball, you're not going to catch it. Well done.
Out number 1 here in the 7th inning, Billy Hamilton. He doubled and scored in the 2nd inning, did the Reds center fielder. So Hamilton with 5 stolen bases this season. That, of course, has always been a big part of his story. The record number of steals he had in the minor leagues before coming up to the big club. Broke Vince Coleman's old record 4 years ago in the minor leagues. Had a season where he stole 155 bases. He's cutting down on getting caught. A couple of years ago, he was caught 53 times. Last year, he had 57 steals and was nabbed only 8 times.
He had 57 stolen bases and he hit 226.
Right.
You can only imagine, you know, if he's able to get on base, hit around, you know, 270, 280. Guy could seal 100 bags.
And then you're looking at all-star material.
On base percentage last year at 274.
Yeah, that's just not quite what they're looking for by any stretch. Could have been a football player recruited by Mississippi State, be a wide receiver. Took the baseball route. Had been an infielder his early baseball life.
They've got him listed as 6 feet tall and 160 pounds.
It might have been a little tough being a receiver in the SEC or any league. Might have cut you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Huh? If you could catch it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Second inning of work for Chris Capuano. Chase Anderson with the first 5. Surrendered the 7 runs, 6 of which were earned. Hamilton will lift this deep but foul down the line. Hamilton has homered once so far this year. He had 4 last year. All the damage for the Reds done in the first 2 innings. 5 of the first, 2 in the second. Capuano bringing the 2-2. And on the hands, fouled it off.
Yeah, good pitch, right in on his fists. And Cappy with that good cut fastball. He'll throw a changeup that goes 2 different directions. He'll cut it in on a right-handed batter and then sink it away.
Capuano struck out the side in the 6th. The 2-2. Got him. 4 strikeouts for Capuano. 2 men out of the 7th.
Yeah, Hamilton chasing one up in the zone. It busted him in on his hands the pitch before, and then takes this one out of the zone, up and in, and Hamilton with a big swing. 4th strikeout for Cappy.
Looking impressive tonight out of the bullpen. There's Joey Votto. 0 for 1 and 2 walks. He'll look at a strike.
In this day and age where baseball pants are kind of baggy, Votto's got those 1980s pants going. Those tight pants. Look at him.
He does.
Those are Carlos Gomez. You know, he used to call them his sexy pants.
That's right.
There's no room in there. Those are tight.
One pitch. So you didn't go with that look, or did you go?
Oh yeah, you had to.
Absolutely, no choice.
No, I mean that's the way it was. They didn't go all the way down to the ankles like that.
Right.
The bottom of the pants, you had the stirrups on, and skin tight.
Yep. A ball, 2 strikes.
Trying to egg me on here. I see you.
A little bit.
Good time back here with
a little.
With our great crew in the booth here. And what's your ultimate goal here, actually?
Are you assuming I have a goal here?
Oh, I think you do. I'm just saying the pants are tight. That's it.
Assuming.
Yeah.
Whatever works. Full count now to Mr. Tight Pants.
You remember Carlos's
oh, of course.
sexy pants?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Feeling sexy.
I think it was on Sundays he wore them.
Yep. Everyday Sunday for Votto, huh?
Yeah.
Votto has walked twice in this game. Let's see if Capuano can put him away. Here's the payoff pitch. Oh, another walk. Time now for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. We look around the league. We mentioned Jaime Garcia. Another strong performance. Brewers saw that firsthand a few weeks ago. And the Marlins leading the Diamondbacks. We'll see the Marlins next week. Cubs and Nationals in the 4th. And the Indians over the Tigers 9-4.
Yeah, Conley near no-hitter against Milwaukee.
Yeah, we'll see him.
Yeah.
Again next week. 7 2/3 last week, and a combined no-hitter that was going until at 1 out in the 9th inning when Jonathan Lucroy blooped a single to right. The Brewers ended up putting a rally together that very nearly tied the game. Lucroy will go out and visit with Chris Capuano.
All of a sudden losing, the strike zone. Joey Votto got ahead of him, not able to put him away, now falling behind Phillips.
Quick trip to the mound. Just trying to finish his 2nd inning of work. Keep the Reds off the board. Phillips with a 2-run homer back in the 2nd inning. Sac fly in the 1st. Took a called 3rd strike, his last trip of the 5th. In there to even the count. .286 average for Brandon Phillips. And homer was his 3rd of the year back in the 2nd inning. A 1-1. Chopper foul. Capuano is good job mixing up his pitches again, and now see if he can put Phillips away.
Fastball, slider, changeup for Capuano. He's got a good cut fastball as well. And it was a cut fastball that he was trying to put away Votto, and just couldn't command it.
A ball, 2 strikes to the Reds' 2nd baseman. Phillips sends this to right field. Long run for Presley, and that goes off the wall. Played by Neuenhuis. Votto to 3rd, Phillips to 2nd with a double.
I just stuck the bat out there, so Brandon Phillips having a nice night at the plate. It drives this one to the opposite field. Didn't miss a home run by too much. It was a cutter. And Phillips able to take it to the opposite field. That's a nice short stroke. Finishes high. I think maybe he thought it might have been out of the ballpark, right off the top of the fence. Didn't miss by much, maybe by about a foot. Nice job again by Neuenhuis to back it up. Keep the run from scoring.
Yeah, very nearly his 2nd homer of the night. Here's Jay Bruce, 3-run blast in the 1st off Chase Anderson. That was Bruce's 34th career homer against Milwaukee. Ryan Braun has 30 for the Brewers in his career against the Reds. Bruce also was grounded to 2nd and struck out. So the Reds threatening, leading by 6 here in the 7th inning. Capuano in front, 2 strikes and nothing. 0-2 to Jay Bruce. Five homers and 21 RBIs for the right fielder. Fastball misses away.
Capuano not opposed to throwing that changeup to lefties. Now that changeup that he throws to go away from the left hander might not be a bad pitch. Remember, he struck out against Anderson on a couple of changeups.
Let's see what he brings here. 1-2 to Jay Bruce. Missing upstairs to even the count. Not by much.
No, that didn't miss by much. We've seen that pitch called strikes tonight.
A good, if not slightly risky, take there by Bruce. Here comes the 2-2. Got him swinging. There's good work by Chris Capuano. The Reds strand a couple, and we are through 7. It is 7-1 Cincinnati. The 8th Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, where the Reds lead the Brewers 7-1. Let's take a look at the Brewers Powerball home run count. See Ryan Braun a few weeks back in Pittsburgh. The Crew with 28 long balls so far this season. Most of them in the home yard, including Hernan Perez. He's hit a couple already in his time this year with Milwaukee. The top of the 8th inning, it's Colin Walsh leading off.
Perez been swinging the bat pretty well. A couple of home runs on a homestand.
There, not hit the ball hard all day yesterday, hitting a opposite field homer. A couple of hits. Colin Walsh slaps one foul over at first. As we move to the 8th inning, the starting pitcher is still out there for the Reds, Alfredo Simon.
97 pitches.
And very efficient, has been helped by 3 double plays. This next pitch will match his total in his last outing against the Pirates. And that was a game where he lasted but 4 innings.
Right. Throwing strikes, has not walked a batter tonight. 4 punch outs.
A ball, 2 strikes to Colin Walsh. And there's punch out number 5.
Cutter.
One out here in the 8th. Craig Counsell will go to his bench, and you see the efficiency of Alfredo Simon tonight. A busy inning was the 5th, and that was the inning where the Brewers scored their only run here so far. Ramon Flores now on the pinch hit. Let's see what he has done through the early portion of this season. Getting most of his starts when he starts out in center field. So a start over in right and a few more starts over in left. There's a little chopper over to Brandon Phillips. 2 up, 2 down. We're in the 8th.
Hey, this season you can eat fresh and score big with the fan favorites ticket giveaway from Subway restaurants. For every $25 you spend at Subway, you'll earn a free Brewers ticket. Visit your local Subway restaurant for details.
2 outs and the base is empty here for Milwaukee. Jonathan VR singled in the 4th inning. Very impressive outing, though, from Alfredo Simon. One thing you wanted to do if you're the Brewers and will want to do as this series continues is test that Reds bullpen. But unable to get to it here tonight. We'll see whether this is the last inning for Simon, but this is a Reds bullpen that has given up runs in the last 22 ball games, at least one in 22 straight. Two and one to VR.
Man, that's what we're talking about. I mean, pitching in general, a .535 earned run average. Look at the bullpen, though. Those are the numbers we're talking about. Got to get to these starters quickly. Didn't happen tonight.
Well, the Reds in a position now to have 5 quality starts. Three and one the count to Jonathan VR. And he'll draw a walk. It's the 16th walk worked by VR so far this year, so a 2-out base runner for Milwaukee.
And you wonder when the end's going to be near for Alfredo Simon. I would imagine that, you know, Price would like to be able to get through this inning, but yeah, here he comes. It's like Blake Wood is ready. That's actually not Brian Price.
That's Mark Riggins, the pitching coach. So.
Right.
So yeah, it looks like, to your point a couple of minutes ago, let's see if they can ride him through at least this inning.
I would imagine this will be his last hitter regardless.
We will let him work against Alex Presley with Ryan Braun on deck. Presley continues to get hits for this Brewers team, putting a 6th inning single. Fastball is in there.
Yeah, velocity's been pretty consistent for Simon tonight. Still throwing 93. It's ticked a couple of miles an hour higher from time to time, but you know, cruising speed about 92, 93. Really hasn't used that splitter as much as I think the Brewers thought he would. Maybe overusing it early in the season. Maybe one of the problems that he was having.
It seemed like we were seeing it a little bit early tonight, and then not so much.
Yeah. Hey, get a big lead. I mean, why mess around, right?
Right. Doing what you would want. Given a 7-0 lead through the first 2 innings, he has just gone after hitters, and he's ahead here on Presley, a ball, 2 strikes.
Up and hadn't walked a guy until the walk to VR.
Presley with the big club for a couple of weeks now, coming up from Colorado Springs on April 21st. Hitting .292 at the moment with his 1-for-3 night. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, hit in the air, deep right field. Jay Bruce going back, and that is gone. Alex Presley, a 2-run shot. His second of the year as a Brewer.
And pecking away, the Brewers now only down by 4 runs. Part of the order coming up, and I would imagine that's going to be it for Alfredo Simon. How about Alex Presley? He's had a pretty nice night at the plate. He had 2 hits. He got robbed of a hit in the first inning. Tried to elevate the fastball, left it down, and Presley rides it on out of here for a home run. Well, 2 outs, nobody on, walk, homer, and the Brewers knocking on the door here now. He's out of here by plenty.
Presley with a couple of homers and 7 RBIs since being called up. As we will have a pitching change here in Cincinnati, as on comes the manager, Brian Price. So they finally get to the bullpen here as the Brewers pull to within 4. We'll take a break. A 7-3 lead for the Reds here in Cincinnati. It's work for Red starter Alfredo Simon, who before tonight, the longest he has lasted as a starter was 5 innings. But tonight, up until the 7th inning, he had the Brewers bottled up. 5 punch outs, only 1 walk. But the Brewers in the 7th get to him. A walk to VR, his first of the night, and then Alex Presley takes him over the wall in right. So it's a 7 2/3 innings night of work for Simon. Giving up the 7 hits and the 3 runs as now Brian Price turns it over to the bullpen and Blake Wood.
Yeah, hard thrower Wood, fastball, curveball. He's had big league time with the Royals and the Indians. His first year with the Reds, a free agent sign in the offseason.
He will face Ryan Braun. Braun's had big numbers against the Reds. That's Tyler Holt now. Double switch. Holt out in right for Cincinnati. So Braun's had big numbers against the Reds in his career, but looking for his first hit here tonight. And quickly ahead of Ryan Braun is Blake Wood, 3rd-round pick by the Royals 10 years ago. Tommy John surgery that knocked him out in 2012. Braun back up the middle, off the foot of Wood, and Braun will leg it out. That went right off the pitcher, and then he was unable to gather it, so Braun is on with an infield single, and the inning extends.
There you go. Now, 2 outs, nobody on. Alfredo Simon out there, walk, home run, now single. And not sure if Phillips was going to be able to make that play. He was shaded up the middle. I think it would have been an out. Yeah, but Wood not able to, get the carom and get the out over at first. So the Brewers set up nicely here. You got the 3-4 hitters coming up. Matter of fact, it's 4 or 5 hitters coming up. How about a bloop and a blast? How about that?
That would work. That would work. And this is a Reds bullpen that's vulnerable to giving that up. Let's see if Lucroy can keep the line moving. Doubled to left center in the 7th inning. Time is called. And the Brewers have actually out-hit the Reds in this game 8-7. Lucroy takes a strike. Wood can get it up there in the mid and can touch the upper 90s.
And a pretty good, power curveball to go with it.
0-1 to Jonathan Lucroy. Couple of runs across here in the 8th for Milwaukee. Lucroy grounded out to third back in the 2nd inning, was hit by a pitch, took one of the ribs back in the 5th. Scored the first run of the night on an RBI single off the bat of Aaron Hill. Blake Wood on in relief of Alfredo Simon. Break-even pitch. Lucroy sends one to right. That's Tyler Holtz, and he'll gather it. And that'll do it for the Crew. A couple of runs, though, courtesy of Alex Presley as he lifts one over the wall in right, his 2nd of the year. And it's a 4-run game in Cincinnati. Yeah, you're right, Jeff. And as an Ohio native, I can tell you, I grew up listening to Marty, and it's kind of cool now just to be able to talk to Hall of Famers like Marty Brennaman and Bob Uecker and Rock here, Wall of Honor. You know, it's
you're going cool. There. You're going to go there. Put me in that category.
Cool. No, you know.
No, you don't have to be that nice.
Well, I'm buttering you up because I know a week from Saturday everything's going to turn.
Yeah, it's going to go. I'll still buy you lunch tomorrow. You don't have to do that.
Oh, okay. Oh, then never mind. So, like I said, it's been great, you know, visiting with Marty and Uke. Nah, he's one of the great ones. In fact, Marty called some Final Fours on radio for a number of years.
Yeah. Now, David Goforth, his 4th appearance as a Brewer. He pitched yesterday. They gave up a run in an inning of work against the Angels.
Well, it's some good work by Chris Capuano. A couple of innings. Is up a hit, a walk, no runs, and strikes out 5. A ball, 2 strikes to Suarez, starting the bottom of the 8th here for the Reds. Working inside to even the count.
And that's what you want out of a guy like Capuano. I mean, he comes in there, he gets the job done, he throws strikes, and he'll give you a couple of innings when your bullpen needs a break. He comes in after Chase Anderson goes 5, Capuano 2, and good work.
Suarez just gets a piece. Hitless in 3 trips. There's the Reds' third baseman. A ground ball to third, a fly ball to right, and a pop up to Aaron Hill. Go for it, the 2-2. Liner down the line, and that's a fair ball. That's going to go toward the corner. And Eugenio Suarez begins the 8th for the Reds with a double.
Sounded like he got it down on the end or on the handle, one of the two. Yeah, it was more this on the end of the bat on a 2-seam fastball. Suarez able to keep it fair. Didn't hit it all that hard. I mean, it didn't sound like he got great wood on it, but able to keep it fair down the line. Brewers, since the 3rd inning, have done a good job retiring the leadoff hitter. The only time they've been able to get the leadoff hitter on was a Joey Votto walk in the 5th.
That's right. Votto has walked 3 times in this game. That's only the 2nd hit for the Reds since the 2nd inning. Here's Adam Duvall. Duvall reached on a throwing error in the 1st inning, came around to score, was grounded out to 3rd, and took a called 3rd strike in the 6th. Chase Anderson with the first 5 for Milwaukee. Chris Capuano worked 2. And now David Goforth here in the 8th. And there's a fly ball hit back into center field, and Nieuwenhuis, and you can only watch this one. It's out of here. Center field, Duvall goes deep.
Yeah, he squared that one up pretty well. That was a fastball right down Main Street and drove it out of here to center by plenty. Let's check out the location. Right down the middle, and Duvall gives it a ride into center field. That's a backbreaker right there, those 2 runs.
Makes it a 9-3 ball game on a 2-run blast. The 3rd homer of the night for the Reds. They homered 4 times yesterday against the Giants. Tucker Barnhart, who is 1 for 3, steps in.
Yeah, really no reason when you play in this ballpark you're not going to be amongst league leaders in home runs every year. Big RBI totals, batting averages, ball just carries out of here like really no other ballpark in the big leagues, particularly when it warms up.
Yeah, it's a fairly cool but comfortable night tonight, but you get those stretches of 85, 90-degree days around here.
Yeah, ball just jumps, particularly in the day.
Number 5 for Adam Duvall. 0-2 pitch coming up to Tucker Barnhart. And he'll take a look at strike 3 called. Off number 1 here in the 8th. Now Goforth will work against Tyler Holt. Part of a double switch. They're in right field now. 27-year-old. Originally drafted by the Cleveland Indians in 2010. Made his big league debut 4 years later. Right back to the mound. Go for it. Knocks it down. Then we have 2 men out. Here's a look at what's on tap, presented by Miller Lite. Tyler Cravey will get the call tomorrow. Tim Adelman will be making his second start for the Reds. If you missed it earlier, Cravey is in. Willie Peralta on paternity leave, so Cravey gets the start tomorrow. Peralta will go on Monday. Our coverage tomorrow starts at 5:30 right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. 2 outs, Zach Cozart. He got that 5-run first started with a single to right. He also doubled. That was in the second inning.
And a really nice catch by Neuenhuis in center field to take extra bases away from him his last time up. Question for Cozart has always been, can he hit? Well, he's off to a really good start at the plate. He's a terrific defender at short.
He was showing some power last year, and he's shown it at times in his career, but middle of June, he tore up his knee running out a ground ball in a game against the Phillies. And his season stopped 53 games in. He had homered 9 times. He was among the leaders. It was among shortstops, homers, on base percentage, and slugging. And he gets into one here into left field. Ryan Braun drifting over near the line. He'll make the catch, and that'll do it for the Reds. But they pick up 2 more runs, and we go to the 9th. 9-3 Cincinnati. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. They move to the 9th inning here. It's a 9-3 lead for the Reds, and they turn it over now to J.J. Hoover.
Yeah, J.J. Hoover having all kinds of problems. The closer for the Cincinnati Reds got 1 save this year. Game number 12, you can see the earned run average, and that's why he's in here tonight, try to figure something out. Yeah, Hoover last pitched on Monday threw a scoreless inning against the Giants.
Facing Chris Carter here in the top half of the 9th. It's the game where the Brewers have been playing catch up from the get-go. 5-run first, a 2-run second. The Brewers were trying to crawl back into it. It was 7-3 going into the bottom of the 8th inning, and then a 2-run homer. And the Reds' Adam Duvall has us where we are now The 9-3 game. Carter swings, sends one to center field, and that is number 10 for Chris Carter. Another launch from the big man.
Yeah, he can hit him, doesn't he? Can he? I mean, that was way up on that batter's eye out there, and Carter with number 10, and the problems for J.J. Hoover continue. Fastball down the middle, and Carter destroys that baseball that time. Boy, he's something else. Look how easy this swing is. And he knew right away as soon as he hit it, that's way up on that batter's eye out in center field. Goodness. Man. Second home run in as many innings for Milwaukee.
No matter the score, when he's at the plate, stop what you're doing. Watch him hit.
Yeah.
Kurt Neuenhuis. Kirk in the game looking for his first hit. Well, that homer for Carter, that's another run against the Reds bullpen. That is 23 straight now.
And that continues, right?
See if the Brewers can continue that all weekend.
Wow. You hear that sound?
Sweet.
Way up over the glass. That's amazing. We're in the first week in May, and the Reds have one save this year.
Yeah, it's incredible.
One.
They've won 11 times. Neuenhuis, center field. Hamilton off the wall, and Neuenhuis into second with the double.
Never over till it's over with this Reds bullpen. Well, just getting a lot of the play with a fastball, not a lot on it. And J.J. Hoover, first two hitters he's faced, they have made good contact. Check this pitch out. Outer half, and not a lot of movement, and that one into left center. Sounded like he might have got it and hit it out of here, maybe on a different day. Well, the Brewers not going away quietly here tonight.
They are not. A 9-4 ball game. Aaron Hill will now face Hoover, who has been tagged by the first two Brewer hitters. A homer from Carter, a double from Neuenhuis. There you see Aaron Hill's night. Drove in the first run of the game for Milwaukee. It has been the ultimate in roller coaster these last couple of years for Hoover. A couple of years ago, he had 10 straight losing decisions. And last year had an ERA of under 3. And this season, he's had a couple of games where he has just been torched. The Cubs got him. 4 earned runs in a third of an inning. So it's happened to him a couple of times, courtesy of the Cubs.
Not getting too much of the plate with his fastball, not a lot of movement, and inability to throw the curveball for strikes. No mystery. Well, you see these guys, guys that have been struggling, you know why. They know why. They just can't get out of it.
1-1 pitch to Hill. Swing and a miss.
Cutter that time, and a little off the plate.
Let's see how interesting the Brewers can make this 9th inning. Off to a good start, but a lot of work to do. 1-2.
Double barrel action with a 5-run lead.
Caleb Cotham and John Moscott.
It's not often you see that, right?
No. 5-run lead.
5-run lead, and you have 2 right-handed pitchers getting up. Different if it was a lefty and a righty.
Well, Moscott been a starter, but he's been dealing with a tender shoulder. So now they're looking to use him out of the pen if needed. He was available yesterday. He did not come in. There's a ground ball up the middle, handled by Phillips. He's out number 1. Neuenhuis will move to third. Yeah, that's when you know that you're The bullpen confidence is low.
Yeah,
5-run game.
Yeah, panic button you push early. You know, and any sign of trouble with any one of your relievers, you're getting somebody up.
Here's Colin Walsh. Tough night at the plate for him. He is grounded into a double play and struck out twice. J.J. Hoover. He's given up a homer and a double, but got a ground ball from Aaron Hill. Walsh takes a breaking ball for strike 2 called. Good ball in there.
Yeah, he's kind of casting it up there. He doesn't throw with a lot of confidence. Able to drop it into the strike zone that time.
0-2 pitch. Another chance for Phillips. The run will score. There are 2 men out. Neuenhuis is in. It's a 9-5 game, but the Brewers are down to their final out. Now Domingo Santana will pinch hit. He has been out of the lineup now 3 of the last 4 games, dealing with shoulder tightness. Craig Counsell able to use him in a role just like this, pinch hitting capacity, and see if he can extend the game here.
Yeah, Brewers don't feel as though it's real serious. I mean, it doesn't affect them a whole lot throwing the baseball or swinging the bat. It's just kind of something that's giving them some problems. One of those nagging injuries that you know, they're trying to see if they can eliminate completely by giving them some time off.
Hoover with a 1-1 to right field. This will fall just foul. Down to the last strike here in the first of 4 in Cincinnati. First game of a 7-game road trip. Hoover gave up a homer to start this ninth off the bat of Chris Carter, and a double from Neuenhuis. 2 runs have scored here for Milwaukee in the ninth. 1-2 pitch. Curve missing away. To the bullpen, but it might be a little bit too late. Let's see. 2-2. And now a full count to Santana. Here's the payoff. And that will end the game. Santana looks at a called 3rd strike. Well, the Brewers get a couple of runs here in the 9th inning, but too much to deal with early. They fell behind 7-0 after 2, and that was too steep of a hill here as the Brewers dropped the first of 4 in Cincinnati. 9-5 the final. Reds take the opener. Let's send it to our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio. Jeff Grayson standing by.